Did I tell you that when I read this book, I was getting an oil change?
No, you didn't tell me that.
And I was sitting in the waiting room because I didn't have my car, you know. They had it up on the ceiling, so I was just watching.
They were twisting and turning it.
I know. And I was in the waiting room, and it was me, this middle-aged lady with the tiniest chihuahua, and just this old lady with like, it wasn't a tablet, but it was like I don't know what it was, but big font. So she was like reading something too, but so it was like 2 words a time.
Oh,
really big font. Okay. So just the three of us. I read this book in one go because I didn't only get an oil change. I got my tires changed. I got battery replacement. I was there a very long time.
Yeah, all day basically.
Read this whole book in there, and I think I made friends with those 2 ladies.
Really?
Because I think we're both the same. We're like, when we read something and it really gets to us, we have to like turn it off and go like, you know what I mean? So I would do that constantly. And one of the ladies, the one with the chihuahua, she was like, wow, you're like really feeling it, aren't you?
Aw, really?
She was like, what's it about? And I was like, vampires. Thank you. So
you recommended it.
Yeah.
Because you
Do you think an oil change can fix your life?
I don't think that's what we're promoting here.
Hello, welcome to the Book Fix Podcast, a podcast where we read...
Where we fix lives one
book at a time. Whoa, sorry. Still thinking about my oil change. I'm your host, Cheli.
And I'm your host, Yajaira.
And today we are talking about Scorched Roses. It is a Crown of Nyaxia novella, a 1.5, which is the continuation of Serpent and the Wings of Night. Thank you. So, how did you feel that we were going to do this one? Because I was so excited.
Yeah, I was excited about it.
Dude.
But I wasn't really sure what to expect because I was surprised that it was what I thought it was going to be about was going back in time.
Yeah.
Like before.
Oh my gosh.
Before our main characters in The Serpent and the Wings of Night.
So I thought the same thing. I thought this was either going to focus on Rain or on Mish. Was that her name?
Misha.
I thought it was going to focus on one of those 2. And that's what I was really excited for. So I will say, when I started this story, this novella, and I saw that it wasn't about either characters, I was kind of like, then why do I fucking have to read this? Like, I don't want to, I want to get to the main story. I don't really care about these side stories for the lore of the world.
But I do feel like, I agree with you. I agree with your feelings, but I feel like the way that this book started was so fucking strong.
Yes, I think that, same.
The writing is just so perfect. I really love it. And the way that it's written is just so easy to follow. But the way that she starts is like, the first time I met death, it was in my first breaths, or rather the first breaths I didn't take. And then it goes to like the second time I met death 8 years later when my sister was born. She, unlike me, screamed from the moment she came into the world. My mother, on the other hand, went forever silent. And the third time I met death, it hadn't come for me. So the third time, basically what happened was that her town was overrun by this like famine. And so her seeing everybody else around her die was her third encounter with death.
Damn. It's kind of like the whole thing where it's like, what is it? When you're so accustomed to death, it just kind of feels like something familiar to you. And it's such a sad thing for her losing everyone. And this is kind of her motivation to get rid of this plague that has spread. So where they're living, I think the goddess's name is Adkova, or is that where they live?
I think the town. It's the town of Adkova.
So,
and the god is the god of abundance. Because, like, everybody has, like, a bunch of gods.
Yeah.
But this town, because it's, like, a farm town, they, like, worship more the god of abundance, which his name is Vitterus.
Oh, yes.
And so Vitterus would, like shower them with, you know, what they needed, basically, for their farm until eventually the crops just kept dying.
And it was said that happened because Lilith, our main character, her dad challenged the god. No one was really there for when it happened, but everyone knows that after he had spoken to that god, all of their crops are super good, but everyone is dying of a specific plague. And the way it described it, it was like they all turned to dust, right?
It was kind of like scary because they would just like fall apart. Like there was a moment where she would be like, yeah, I saw my sister and I saw the pieces that she left behind. It's like she would just like disintegrate. Like parts of her would fall off. And it was just really sad because she would also describe it as like their eyes were like sunken in and just like it's almost like they're more of a skeleton now.
Yeah.
Which was just so sad because it's like a slow and painful death.
But Lilith is smart. She's a scientist. And so she's like, okay, everyone around me is dying. It might have been my dad's fault. Oopsie. But I do care for these people. She's not really good at showing
She
it.
doesn't really know what happened with her dad, though. Because
It's
remember...
assumed.
Yeah, no, but remember in the beginning, she was like, oh, my dad prayed. And the god basically spat in his face and, you know, did the opposite.
Yes. I think, yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. I know that we don't know either. So it's just assumed that something happened in that interaction and that, yeah. She doesn't like the god. She doesn't like what's going on. She feels like although they pray and they're giving, I think they give crops and everything, nothing ever happens. So she lives in this place where everything is growing well, people are dying, but she's a scientist and she thinks, well, if it's a sickness, then there must be a cure.
Yeah.
And she's thinking that the strongest people that are not affected by the sickness currently are the vampires that are alive and around here. And there happens to be one that lives like on the outskirts of the city. And she's like, okay, so I'm going to go talk to this guy, this vampire, and I'm going to see if he is willing to give me some of his blood so that I can use it in order to make a cure because he's not affected by this. And I thought it was kind of funny because the way that this story is broken down is it's broken down by roses. So it's called 6 Scorched Roses. And the first part is called the first rose.
Yeah.
So her going to this vampire's place, his name is Vale. Her going here, she's like, okay, I'm going to take like 4 vials of blood, which is hella blood. Oh my gosh.
She was very confident. She was like, you know what? I'm going to convince this man to give me all his blood. And
it's funny because she's like, if you do this, I will give you this. And it's just like a rose. And he's like, what's
like,
so
why
special?
The fuck do I want that? It was kind of funny. I loved the whole beginning part of her making the whole trip because she literally had to climb up to get to where he lives. And she was just like, okay. And then so she's there. She's like knocking. And then she's like, hello. And he doesn't like answer the door. And so she just like opens it and it's fucking unlocked. And she's just like, okay, hello. And then he sees her and he's just like, what? Like, what do you want?
Because she let herself in, right?
Yeah, she did.
She was just in his house and he was like, what would you like? Why are you here?
Like, what are you doing
and
here?
And he's already kind of like notoriously known for being like cold-hearted, right? Like no one visits this vampire.
Yeah, he seems pretty lonely, honestly. I mean, it's literally just him in this big-ass house.
Big-ass house. And he has so much shit. I love it. So she presents this rose to him. And at first he's like, really? You're going to take my blood every single month and just give me 1 rose? But doesn't he get like intrigued by it?
The way that it's written is he stared at it face down, a flower. Very pretty. But he didn't try to hide how unimpressed he was. And she says, I promise you, its beauty is by far the least interesting thing about it. And he's kind of just like, okay, why is that? You won't know unless you accept my deal. And see, he asks her, okay, how many times? Visits? Roses. I'll visit you 6 times and bring you a rose each time. And so at this point, she's kind of like expecting him to refuse it. But he like stares at the rose. He twirls it around in his fingers. He's just like has this like stoic face. And it says, it looked a bit familiar and I couldn't place why until I realized that it was the stare of a scientist. someone used to analyzing things and taking them apart. So that's the way that he was staring at this rose. And then a little spark of relief came with this realization, because that at least was something I understood. Maybe Vale and I were worlds apart in every way, human and vampire, lord and peasant, near immortal and pitifully ephemeral. But if we had that, it was already more than I had in common with most of the people I'd grown up with. Fine, he said at last. I accept your deal. Did you bring your equipment? Let's get this over with.
Dude. I fucking love.
I was surprised, honestly. I was like, wow, a rose? Come on. I would have been like, roses, but where's the money at? Not that he needs any, but
I know.
Not that he needs any, but like, you know.
Just in spite of you.
It would have been funny.
I wrote after the first rose that I was disappointed that this story wasn't about Vince. I thought it was going to be too.
About Vince?
Yeah,
oh,
because his name started with a V, and I was like, I wonder if that's another one of his names.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be about Vince, too. If it wasn't going to be, like, about our...
Sorry. Okay.
About our main characters, then at least having it be about Vincent.
Dude, but I was so into Lilith. I felt really bad for her because she seemed... To everyone else, she seemed very closed off. Because there was this one thing that kept happening when she was back with her sister at their place, and her sister would be like, you want to go take a walk with me? And she knew, because she would say no, and her sister was like, take a walk with me.
Yeah.
And it was like the unspoken thing, like, we're both going to die soon.
Yeah.
So you might as well walk with me. But she would have to continue to say no, because in her mind, it's like, I could take a walk with you, or I could find the cure.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to tell anyone that that's what she was doing. So she just looked very closed off. And
but she was
so bad for her.
She was pretty closed off, though, like, just in general. Because even when her sister would try to, like, hug her or, like, tell her that she loves her, Lilith was kind of like, it's not about the words, it's about the action. And so she was just like, no, as long as I find the cure, you know, that's what matters. And she did feel bad about it, but she is just so hardened by the circumstances. That's just how she is. But I did feel bad for her too, because obviously, like, her sister's over here trying to give her some fucking love, and she's just like unable to.
Yeah. How'd you feel about that one scientist she was friends with? His name was Pharaoh.
You know what's funny? I had no idea what direction the story was going in. So at first I was like, oh my God, they're both going to find the cure together. Like, this is that kind of love story, you know? I didn't know that the love story was going to be between her and the vampire Vale. So I was like, oh, he's Pharaoh? Pharaoh. He's like, he was really sweet though. Like, I actually really liked him. I liked that he was just as curious and wanting to find something as well, like as she was. But obviously, like, he didn't know what she was doing.
I loved him so much. I loved that as soon as he figured out what she was doing, he was like, no.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, it's too late. I've already done the first.
Oh, well, the reason that he's more hesitant about it is because this is kind of seen as treason.
Yes.
Because just like the way that, because Nyaxia is the goddess of the vampires, right?
Yes.
And so Nyaxia has basically beef with the other gods, and more specifically with Vitris, which is the god of abundance, which is the one that they're like praying to, the one that betrayed them. And so if Lilith is working for Nyaxia's kind, children or whatever, then her town would see that as like treason.
Yes.
And so she could get into a lot of trouble for that. But she's willing to risk it. She's just like, you know what, better than me to try something.
When she goes to visit him for the second rose, isn't that when she like walks in on him having sex with like a random lady?
I thought it was like the third time.
That's what I thought too. Hold on. Oh no, the second time she comes over is when she just starts spouting knowledge. She's like, yeah, aren't you Rishan? Wait, don't you? Isn't there three? She read the first book.
Yeah, she did, huh? Well, because then she was more like enthralled by like all of the shit that he had. Because then she would look at all of his like treasures and be like, wow, is that the weapon of whatever? And then the paintings and he would just be like, and he'd be like interested that she was interested.
It made me sad too, because the time that she left at that moment,
I think it was the second time when he realized like what she was doing, and he was kind of like appalled by it. He was like, wait, you want to inject people with vampire blood? Like, it's not going to work. Like, it's not going to fix anything. Because the way, obviously, like vampire blood is so like toxic.
Yes.
You know, and it would kill people. Because like he's also thinking like, okay, if you want to turn them into vampires, that whole thing, like people don't survive that. Most people, some people do, but not all. And she's thinking like, well, I mean, you just don't know. Like, has anyone even tried?
Yep.
To like really analyze vampire blood?
There's a part where he also talks about being able to smell her.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I smell that you want this. And she didn't want to say anything like to further that. So she says, wanting something doesn't count for anything, which I think is really sad.
Yeah.
She's just so logical.
Mm-hmm.
You have to work for what you have. I like the way that part 2 ends, because it ends with her going back home and she looks at the floor and it's just a bunch of skin flakes of her sister. And it says, so much of her skin covered the floor that it took me half an hour to sweep it all away.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's so traumatizing. Like, no wonder she's trying so hard to find a cure. And it must be so sad too, knowing that her time is so limited.
Mm-hmm. I think it wasn't until the 3rd rose where I started to fucking love Vale.
This rose was when she felt more like anxious about everything, about her sister's situation. And so she kind of went a little bit ahead of time. But she went at a time where like she knew she shouldn't have gone. And then she got ambushed by people who were starving, because obviously people are starving around her. Mm-hmm. And so they're like looking at her bag, like thinking like, oh my God, give me all of your money, because they want to eat. But she's just like, I don't have anything in here that's of value to you. Please trust me. Nothing in here you can sell. But I promise you, if you let me go, like I'll come back and I'll give you money. And they're just like not believing her. And it's really sad though, because like she obviously like knows them. But
then she also like looked like she was wearing very nice clothes. So didn't they also say like, we'll just take your clothes?
Well, she said, well, the way that she described it was like the dress had been nice once.
Yeah.
But she obviously couldn't buy new dresses. So it was like overworn now. But they thought like, oh, maybe we can sell your dress for something then. So they wanted her to take off her dress. And she was going to do it. Like she preferred keeping her equipment over losing it. Mm-hmm. But then Vale showed up and basically rescued her, but it fucking murdered everybody.
He killed everyone.
It was like, what the fuck? And obviously Lilith was like, dude.
I like how when she woke up, because she woke up at his house, she immediately touches her neck and he's just like, I promise I did not eat you. It's like, oh fuck. Thank God.
She's like, thank God. Whew.
But she stays there for a bit, right?
Because she's really injured from the attack of being ambushed. And she really wanted to leave. But I think it was at this point where he was like, no, like stay, please, just until you're better.
Oh, but he was so sad. Well, it was kind of like he didn't want to say anything, but he was always like, it's so shocking to me that you were so weak when I found you.
Yeah.
Because you've never been that. And she's like, I was sickly growing up.
Oh, that was so cute though, because he tells her that
you've seemed infallible.
Yeah. That's just the attitude that she carries. And so that was so cute. And she just looked at him like, what the fuck, dude? I'm human. Hello? But the way that she tries to rationalize, not really caring about being naked in front of those men was so sad too. Because she was just like, it's just a body.
Yep.
And he's like, no, it's not just a body.
Yep. And he also mentioned too, wasn't he like, you could have fought them off? And she's like, no, I couldn't have.
Yeah.
So it's better to just accept what was about to happen and like leave alive than die. She was there for a bit. I really like that he read to her through like all of the books that they had.
Yeah. That was cute.
And then didn't he get super interested in what she was doing? He was a general, by the way. Pop-off king. Oh, he wasn't a king. Sorry. General. Pop-off general.
But he was like one of the best ones. And who was he looking for again? The Rishon?
Yeah.
And he was one of the best ones for the Rishon. And it was really sad because anytime that he would talk about it, it was kind of just like, yeah, A lot of lives were lost. And they just, what's the word? When they just like, they don't need you, you know? They don't really need me, easily replaceable kind of thing.
Damn. He still remembers it though, the glory days. I love it. How'd you feel at the end of, they were like, it was just a lot of them just walking around the house, and everything she pointed at, he would explain it to her. And then there's a knock on the door and it's just a person with no face.
I still don't get that.
Oh, why are you?
I
Hello?
still don't understand that.
And those are the people, the Rishon, who are like, hey, new king.
Yeah.
New king, who this? You need to come back. But he's so against coming back because he doesn't like who the current king is.
Yeah. They really want him back, but
yeah.
And it's really sad because I think at that moment, she gets mad at him, no? Because she's just like, well, you're not gonna do anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy for you to just sit here and not do anything. Meanwhile, my whole town is dying.
I like he brings up, oh, well, why would I go back? Because the king who's there is turned king.
Yeah. Ew. Oh my God. And then when she said, wait, doesn't that make him stronger though? Because he survived being turned? And he was like,
oh shit.
He literally was speechless. He was like, wait, I've never thought about it that way. That's so funny.
Oh, I love the part where he's just saying like, no, I can't go back though. It's the principle of the thing. Mm-hmm. And she's like, principle? I know what it feels like to be helpless. You don't. You don't know what it feels like to be surrounded by 5 men and know you can't stop them from hurting you. You don't know what it feels like to see the people you've grown up with wither and die. And she like stops herself. And I'm like, God damn, go off on him.
You know what part I love? Was the part where she showed him his blood and she was trying to like compliment his blood. Like, your blood is so, like, it could save us. And he's like, no, it's not my blood. It's you. You're the one that's saving them.
And then it ends with him going like,
whatever you need, girl. My blood, my books, my knowledge, anything. It's yours.
Dude, I loved Vale. Sorry. It's because I keep leaning forward. I love Vale.
Yeah, I love him too. But okay, so I think you were right. I think at some point before this was when she walked in on him having sex with someone else. Because they didn't have any real connection yet.
Yes.
But I thought that part was so funny because she just like walked in on him having sex and then he was like, what? What?
That girl just leaves too.
Yeah, she's just like,
okay, see you next Wednesday.
See ya. That was fun.
You know what part I liked? Their whole study sesh where it's just them like, oh, does this mean anything? Because he's like reading through the notes. Mm-hmm. And while they're sitting together, he just looks at her and calmly says, you are a very beautiful woman. Not as a compliment. It was simply
just an observation. Oh my God, Vale is so fucking sweet. I love him.
Dude, I do too. I loved, after this third rose one, him going back. Or no, her going back. Mm-hmm. And her like, okay, gotta go. And both of them are just kind of like, oh,
well. He gives her a horse, no?
Yeah.
And then he was like, wait, can I write to you maybe? Can I maybe write to you a little bit? I mean, listen, I'm better with letters. Trust me. I'm a poet.
Bitch, I have not written in 300 years. I may be illiterate, but
no,
I'll write to you, bitch.
He's not. He's super like
he's so sweet. But I really like that they're just kind of like, okay, going. It's like, oh, you don't want to. Look at that chair. Like, it's so obvious they both don't want to separate. Mm-hmm. And it makes me so sad. But she does feel very guilty leaving.
Yeah.
You know.
It's kind of sad because you could tell that she feels guilty leaving, but she also feels guilty for being away from her sister for so long.
Yep. I like the first letter he wrote to her. It says, Lilith, I hope you made it home safely. I found some more notes for you. I thought you wouldn't want to waste the time without them. I welcome any letters you wish to send before your visit. I will help you however I can, if you want it. Vale. I bet he sent that and was fucking like...
like kicking his feet around. Just like, miss you, girl. Please write back.
She writes back like Kay, and he's like, oh my God.
It's so funny because it's like after sending it, he's probably like, you know what? I'm just gonna write another one.
No, times a day. He's like a 4-time texter.
I feel like he would be. But it would be like, sorry for bothering you, babe, but I was just thinking about this flower.
I just want to let you know, this is my drawing of the flower. Okay. Oh, I love that. Dude, he's so sweet. And I like how in between their third and fourth rose, they send each other hella letters.
Yeah. We get it. You're in love. Just get married, damn it. Cute. So apparently the letters would be deposited by ravens. That's cute.
Love it. Poor ravens carrying like fucking novels. Like, oh my God.
They're already like fucking dropping it.
They're like, flying by all the houses. People are holding out their letters and he has like all of the books. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Not him again.
Not him.
None of the ravens want to stop by his house.
Oh, I really like the part. I'm sorry. I'm like gripping you. Where he sent her a drawing of a nightbane, he sent her a drawing of a nightbane flower and wrote, "Sweet with a bitter taste," because that's what
bitter bite.
Thank you. That's what he said her blood would be like.
Mm-hmm. God, he has a way with words, huh?
Dude.
Cheli is over here fucking dancing.
I love him. I would like to believe he was the same way. He would send it and just work. Oh God. Yeah,
it was cute. And then wasn't this the point where the priest stopped by also?
Yes.
Because he was with the sister. What's the sister's name again? Mina? Yeah, Mina.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because Mina knew that her time was running out.
Near the end, she did find a cure, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. And it was sad because I love the way it ends. Was it like every fucking chapter ended in a cliffhanger? I swear to God. The ending was like a cure. It was only fitting, of course, that this was when everything fell apart.
And I wrote, she fucking did it. Please don't take this from me, Bill. It literally worked so well.
You were so stressed.
I thought he was going to die.
Vale?
Yeah, I thought too much blood. They were going to suck him dry like a raisin.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And then I love how the next chapter started with Pharaoh coming in, like fucking barging in, sweating and shit. Just like, bitch, they're coming for you. Grab your bags and let's go. And she was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, they know you've been coercing?
Yeah.
Cohorting? What is it?
Cohorting.
With the fucking vampire, and now they're pissed at you and they're gonna come and punish you for it. And so he's trying to help her out, but she's just like, wait, hold on. Wait, if they know, then that means they're probably already with him, with Vale.
Yeah.
And so she's just like, you guys go. I need to go save my future husband.
Don't read into that.
Pharaoh's over here like, wait,
no.
I thought we...
Don't you remember when we were both at work and I gave you a pencil? Did that mean nothing to you?
I gave you my lucky pencil.
You lost that shit. I really like when she gets to Vale's house because she goes with Pharaoh. She doesn't go alone. Mm-hmm. When they get there, she sees that there has already been a fight there. Yeah. But when she looks...
It's so sad, all of the fucking blood.
She said...
Were you stressed?
I was really stressed. She said the house was bleeding.
Yeah.
Because there was just so much that was there. And then when she said that it was red, I was like, oh, thank God, that's my bitch. And then it was like, but then there was some black in it.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, red blood? Oh, that's not my man. That's not my man. Everybody else is dead.
Oh, my gosh. But he was hurt. He was hella hurt.
Yeah.
And the sun was coming out, I think. So he was starting to get burned.
Was rising.
Oh, my gosh. Bitch was dying.
These vampires do get burned in the sun.
And then when she sees him on the floor like this, the first thing that she thinks of is my veil. Dude, how into this book were you at this point?
Oh, I was already into it since the beginning.
Like I said, I was in the middle of waiting for my car fucking spinning in the ceiling.
They were like rotating fucking juggling all the cars.
And I'm just crying. I was so scared.
Run it again. I'm gonna be right here.
Because since this book focused so much on death following her, I was expecting her to lose everything.
Yeah.
And to find the cure and be like, I'm good, but no one else is.
Mm-hmm.
So I was waiting for that. Mm-hmm. So him being so close to dying, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
He sees her and goes like, Mouse, baby.
Oh, yeah, he would call her Mouse, huh?
Yeah.
Why? I don't remember why.
Favorite animal.
A mouse? That's insulting.
Iguana. Iguana.
Iggy. Oh, Iggy.
Oh, Iggy. I kept calling him Vale.
I kept calling him Vale. And I don't know why. I was like, stop calling him Vale. It's Veo. It's the Mexican in us.
I know, it really is.
Vale.
I thought for a second that he killed Pharaoh.
When? At what point?
It was the part that was like, I realized after a few seconds of dull blinking, a heart thunk as Pharaoh's sword fell to the grass. Thump as Vale let the heart drop beside it. And then silence.
So Pharaoh was there. I don't remember if Pharaoh went with her or went after her.
Yeah, Pharaoh went with her.
He did go with
and helped
her.
Fight.
Yeah.
But what I thought had happened was that
Pharaoh
Vale accidentally killed Pharaoh because like human, you know?
Human.
And fucking Lilith just sees like Pharaoh's head like roll and she's like, oh, well, you know,
no,
he doesn't really make the coffee that well.
I love Pharaoh.
Well, I'm okay with it.
I really love Pharaoh though. I would have been so sad. I didn't get that part. Well, I got it, but I didn't get it the way that you did.
Okay, so when the fight is finally over, they carry Vale into the house.
Wait, hold on. This is very important. Vale kills that fucking...
That's what I was gonna say.
What was his fucking name? Who cares? He's basically a high-ranking
acolyte.
Devotee of Vitruvius, the god. And he was like the priest, no?
Yes, he's really important.
He's really, really important. And then everyone's kind of like, fingers crossed, let's just hope that Vitruvius doesn't notice.
So Vale is bleeding out on the bed and Pharaoh and Lilith are trying to help him, but he's like, you need to burn the bodies before they know. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, let's just cure a little bit and then we'll go get rid of the bodies. Mm-hmm. So then after that, they make a huge mound of the bodies, including the acolyte, and they burn them all. And she's like, okay, hopefully no one saw that.
Yeah.
The murder of 40 men. No one saw it. So she goes back inside and Pharaoh leaves because I think Pharaoh is tasked to go give Mina the cure. Mm-hmm. And it's like, go take care of her. I will be there when I can be. And when she goes back to talk...
she had already given it to her before they left.
Then he
just...
Oh, you're right.
She just like stabs her with it.
Then he just takes it, right?
I think so. I don't really remember.
I'll take care of him and the bodies. No arguing. I really like when they're all sitting there and he fucking Vale, none of his limbs connected. I don't know. He's just like all bleeding out and he's like, so who's Pharaoh?
He's in love with you. He noticed that right away. He was like, he's in love with you.
Don't you see that?
And she's like, yeah.
I know. I'm just that kind of girly. He wanted more than I could give him. I thought that was really sad. And then Vale goes like, good talk. I decided, you know what? I'm going to give that new Rishin King a try. I'm going to go back to the arbitrace. Why'd you change your mind? And then he's like, have you ever been in love?
Uh-huh. And she's like,
yeah, bitch.
Yeah, maybe once. I don't know.
I love them, dude.
Yeah, they were really cute.
There's a part where she says, you want more than I can give you. And he says, I can't imagine that ever being true because I want only you, Lilith. Whatever of you I can have, I'll take 1 night, 1 hour, 1 minute. Whatever you want to give me, I'll have it. And I just wrote, he got that dog in him.
And then they hella kissed. They were like hella into it. I was like, damn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
It's so funny because I was like, bitch, weren't you just dying 2 seconds ago? He's like, you know what? I'm better.
I know.
I'm good now, actually. Nothing hurts.
Sorry, babe. Just like all the blood. Sorry. Give me the wipes. Give me the baby wipes. Oh, my God. I love how he's like, Because she even says, you're injured. And he says, incredible how much better I already feel. I just wrote, he got me. The spice in this book, A+.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was so good. So yeah, there was spice right after fucking Vale almost died. That was awesome.
His eyes drank me in for what felt like an age at an instant. And then I just wrote wolf. Because he got that dog in him.
Oh my God.
I was so into this book. Oh my goddamn. How did you feel though? Like after this beautiful love has blossomed, she goes outside and the skies, like, God is angry. She looks up and she's like, oh shit, I knew I forgot one. Dude.
I was so fucking anxious because I was like, damn it, I don't know how this story is going to end. I don't know if it's going to be a happy ending or not. So I was like sweating. I thought that. And then I think what made it worse was the fact that she was just like being cold again.
Yes.
And she was like, love you, babe. No, just kidding. She didn't say that. She was like, I can't give you what you need, so I'm going to go. And he was like, no.
But then she's like, no, but I have to. And you said you were going to go back to the Rishin King to work as a general. Mm-hmm. You go do you and I'll go do me. And he's like, I can't stop you. Mm-hmm. So she leaves, but it's so heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. Their separation. So when she gets to her town, fucking God is angry.
Yeah.
And
Vitris? You mean Vitris?
Vitris?
Yeah.
Is angry. And she shows up and she's like, Vitris.
I love the way that she shows up though, because her sister is there, but her sister's not looking at her.
Yes.
And I was just like expecting her sister to turn around and look like a fucking model. Like just like her whole like skin is back intact,
bitch.
You know?
Hey, bitch. She's like all posing. I know. Everyone around her's dying because they haven't gotten it yet. But her and Pharaoh like, oh, bitch.
And they're all chiseled.
I know. Someone's flaking and they're like, ugh, gross.
But she doesn't turn around though.
No, she doesn't. But Lilith goes up to Vitris and goes like, hey, I'll make a deal with you. And Vitris says, just like your father. You know, he made a deal with me a long time ago too. Mm-hmm. It's like, goddamn. Deal? My dad would never. My dad didn't even like deals.
Yeah.
But it's like, it kind of makes sense. And I'm surprised it didn't like click to me, but she was always sickly, but she never died.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, damn, she just got that long-term sickness.
The chronic.
But it was said the deal that he made was in order to save the crops. That was what was assumed, that it was only for the crops. And then he like said something to the god that made him angry. But then I don't remember how it's revealed. It's like, you need to give me back everything that your dad made a deal for. And so she like picks up the soil and puts it in Vitris's hand and is like, here, that's what my dad bargained. It's like, no, you're not done. He bargained something else too. And then it like clicks in Lilith's head that it's like, oh shit, he bargained my health. Mm-hmm. So I have to kill myself, basically.
Yeah.
And so she's stuck in this part where like everything can go back to normal if I end my life. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, she sees wings.
She sings wings and God. Just kidding. Just a general.
Vale comes.
Vale.
Vale, Mr. Worldwide. Oh my gosh. So Vale comes looking amazing.
Looking hot, sexy, rejuvenated.
Is it here?
So her life is basically like slipping away because of the deal that she made with Vitris. But Vale gets to her
and it's
as
like
she's dying.
She's on the floor, already halfway dead. Grabs her face. It's like, do you want to live, Lilith?
Lilith, look at me. Look at me, babe. Do you want to live?
Lilith.
Yes or no? You know what this means, right? You know what this means. Don't act. Don't act. And she just looks at him. She's like, yes, I want to live.
I want to live.
And he
drink. A familiar command.
And it's really sad because he knows that there's a chance she won't survive the turning. But, I mean, she's already dying anyway, so.
Yeah. So she wakes up And she's like, oh my fucking God, I'm dead. And she starts to think of, oh no, she hears Vale's voice go, careful, careful, mouse. And she's like, oh my God, I'm dead. I died. And Vitreous and my father. And he's like, nah,
I'm here.
I handled it.
Yeah.
Didn't you see how calm I was?
Didn't you see how calm, cool, collected I was? I only slapped you once, and it was in the shoulder, babe.
And if someone says I cried, I didn't. They're lying, okay? So he's like, everyone's good.
Yeah.
You died for a second, but came back. Vitreous was like, oh shit, everyone's good. No one's flaking. Everyone's good. And then she's like, well, what about Mina? It's like, turn around, bitch. Turns around, Mina's there, and they hug for like the first time in this whole story.
To the point where she didn't know when to let go. They're still hugging to this day.
And then it's like, oh my God, Vale, I can't believe it. How long has it been? Weeks, and you turned me? I asked you to, and I said yes. I love, though, that this is such a scary thing, because in the first book of Nyaxia, when Rain talks about turning, he talks about, like, time seems like nothing anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Vale's view of it was, too. It's like, you have so much time, so why do you always talk about it being so precious? So her first thought is time, so much of it, time to collect knowledge and time to see the world. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah.
That she sees it like that. Do they confess their love?
Oh God, I would hope so at this fucking point.
By the way, I kind of
they already did confess their love. What are you talking about?
She's just like, oh, actually, I am.
Pharaoh's over there.
Yeah. I found his pencil. They kiss, and he's like, what's this?
Oh God.
Lapicero. Oh
No, they already confessed their love for each other before this. I'm pretty sure it was like during the first spice or before the first spice.
And then he asks her, would you be willing? Would you, Lilith E. Vale? I don't know what his last name is. His first name is Josh. So it's like, would you be willing to go to war with me?
No.
Oh, no, it's fine. I'm fine. But she's like, you know I would. It's like, I just want you to know, though, if you're willing to go back with me to the kingdom that is currently going through shit, we're going to be
going through shit.
Yeah, I can't promise what we're going to, you know? And it's scary. It's the unknown. And she's like, do I look like someone who's scared of the unknown? And he's like, hell yeah, bitch. Okay, let's go. Luggage. Mina, you do.
Mina, bye.
I know. Just lock the door on your way out,
It was kind of cute though because Lilith felt bad leaving Mina, behind, but Mina was like, "Girl, you've always wanted to explore the world. Just go."
She's just no flakes.
Oh my God!
I'm
Stop.
good. And Vale and I, between both beholden to neither and everything we were ever meant to be. So they go off. And by the way, the reason he came back when fucking Lilith was in a war with Vitreous, whatever she was fucking doing, the reason he came was because when he was crying and packing, he was like, oh, I'm gonna miss my bitch. And then he's like, I can't forget my roses, the 5 that she gave me. He picks them up and he realizes that they weren't dying. Like, he had them for so long. And it wasn't until she left, because he didn't know what was going on with Vitreous. It wasn't until she left where they started to die.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh shit, they got my girl.
And then he wings out. I'm coming, babe. Oh my God.
I can imagine getting there and fucking Mina and Pharaoh are move! I don't know how to let him.
Stop. Oh my God. Yeah, so that was 6 Scorched Roses.
Yeah, it was okay. It was mid.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting more, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Dude, my one brain cell was very much like, didn't know when this was taking place. So when they talked about the Rishin King, I was like, they can't be talking about Rain.
Yeah.
They can't be. They're probably talking about the one before Rain, the one that fucked up his life. That's who I thought. So my 2 brain cells is like, you know what? I'm glad that I know this lore. There. It's never going to affect me again. And I will say it now, and I'll say it again in our next episode. When they are mentioned again, I cry. I was like, hell yeah, Mr. Worldwide and Lilith.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was pretty excited too when they came back in the second one.
I really like this story. Can I read you my review?
Yes. You have a review?
Yeah. It's not good. I haven't read it since I wrote it.
Oh god. Must be good then. When did you finish this book?
Last year. So this counted for my 2023 reads. And I was like, damn, I'm conflicted because I already picked my book of the year. But I loved this book so much. And it was just a novella.
You did rate it.
Give it a 5 out of 5. I wrote. Oh, you see it already. When I had heard that this 1.5 existed, I had very little hopes. There was a part of me that was actually disappointed when this story didn't follow our cast from book 1. I was thinking of skipping it and going straight to book 2 like a fool. Boy, was I wrong to feel like that. I almost forgot how in love I was with the writing style in book 1. I absolutely was blown away with the intensity. I fell in love with the characters in this story. In such a small amount of time, I felt the heaviness of Lilith's desperation. God, her view of death also had me in its fucking clutches. Like the way she talked about death had me shaking. Such familiarity. And the romance attention, I'm completely invested. So excited to read book 2. What a good way to end my reads of 2023.
And you gave it 5 stars.
Yes.
I think I would give it 5 stars too.
It was good.
It was so fucking
It would
good.
not have competed with my books of the year, but it would have made me waver.
Yeah, just a little bit, huh? It was that part with him just like,
oh, yeah, just
flying to her, you know?
I gotta admit, the idea of this old ass man just gliding in the air is so funny. I love him.
Yeah, he was such a good love interest.
Vale for king.
Oh,
he'd slay.
You mean?
No, he'd
is
slay.
Rain dead or what?
He'd slay. You know, he
slay Rain.
I don't know. I guess we'll discuss that more when we talk about book 2.
Okay.
I love this series.
Me too. I fucking love the writing so much. I feel like the writing is so, I don't know, like it's just so pretty. I really like it, and especially the way that it started. Like she has a way of just starting so fucking strong.
Yeah, she does. I feel like that's really hard. I really want to read her other series.
Oh my god, me too. Let's do it.
What is it called
for next month? Daughter of No Worlds. The War of Lost Hearts. There's a 0.5, so I'm sending you the picture.
0.5 of what?
Of the War of Lost Hearts. Oh my god. Oh, that was me. Oh my god, imagine she comes to, what's it called?
Would she?
I don't know. Would she?
Does she do that? Does she do that?
I don't know.
Is she down?
I don't know.
I just want to say for everyone who's listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can leave a rating of 5 stars and a review recommending us another book, that would be great. Anything you recommend us now is probably going to be filmed in February, though. So
or March, who knows?
Yeah. If you are wanting to support us and you have a little bit of extra money, what's something they can do?
So we do have a Patreon, and at the moment it really just serves as a way for our listeners to let us know that you really appreciate what we do here. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of monthly, we do have a Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix, and a buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to support us on social media, we have an Instagram at the BookFixPod, THEBOOKFIXPOD, and we also have a TikTok at the BookFix, THEBOOKFIX. Thank you. We are gonna end this episode by reading a positive and a negative comment about the novella.
Okay.
Which one do you want to do?
I'll do the negative one.
Okay, I'll do positive.
There is no negative one.
I don't blame them. Ooh. Oh, there's some.
Okay.
I'm going to read 5 out of 5 star from Eamon.
Okay.
Eamon read this back in April 19th of last year. No, because why was this novella way better than I expected it to be? A full-length story and full fleshed-out characters. This vampire is so miserable over her that he wants to send her letters too. You're not a stupid man, Vale. No, just a desperate one. It must be hard to bear the weight of so much affection in a life so short. Now, why did that make me cry? Oh my gosh, I get it, Eamon. Oh, love it.
Okay. This one was written by Julie. They gave it 1 out of 5. They wrote pros. The banter was cute. Him being shy and in love with her was sweet. Cons. Boring plot, no world building, disappointing climax. Didn't expect much for a fantasy romance book. The premise could have been vast and magical, but it disappointingly wasn't. Okay, she's a scientist and she's creating a cure. How is she making that cure? How was Vale so on board with helping her during their first meeting? So many questions that could have been answered with a more developed plot and story. The only thing I enjoyed was the banter and the teasing and how much Vale has fallen for her.
Damn. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Someone's 1 star was just Lord Vale and Lilith. I get it. If Carissa ever made this a movie, I feel like Vale would be Adam Driver. I'm sorry.
Why do you always involve Adam Driver?
Close your eyes. Adam Driver flying.
This is him.
Adam Driver.
That's him.
That's Vale?
This is Vale.
Oh my god, wait. He kind of looks like Ben Barnes.
Cuter though.
I get it. He got that M hairline. Hell yeah.
Perfect for a vampire.
Is that her? Is that her? Is that her? Wait, I need a cross-reference. Dude, she's where? Where's Dark? Where are we and where is that? We can go back in time.
I'm trying to figure out if we could meet Carissa Broadbent, but this poster was for December 5th, 2023, so it's already too late for us. But maybe this year we'll get lucky and we can meet her and tell her that we love Vale.
Okay.
Rain and Lilith.
We're gonna go up to her, like, ask a question. And it's like, hello, Carissa, big fan. Okay, discuss.
I feel like she would love that.